Hello, many thanks for joining us on News Hour 2. My name is Sani Abdurrahman. In this package, we're telling you the very latest on Ghana's drive to produce COVID-19 vaccine, and also the very latest from Buduburam, where today is the last day for refugees to vacate the place. Our correspondents have been following up on these two developments, and we'll be telling you the very latest on that. Let's start with the vaccine story. A meeting of pharmaceutical organizations, the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service has taken place in Accra to explain Ghana's journey so far in the quest to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines locally. My colleague, who is our health correspondent, Sarah Ofori, has been part of this meeting, a virtual meeting, and joins me in the studio with the very latest on this development. Sarah, thank you so much for your time and for having time to monitor the event. This is very important to us as a country as we chart our path out of COVID-19. But let's start with your highlights from the meeting.
Okay, so this is a stakeholders meeting by the Vaccine Manufacturing Committee set up by the President. You know, their mandate is to establish a manufacturing plant, deepen research and development into vaccines in Ghana, and also upgrade our institutions like the FDA, and also form some bilateral partnerships with vaccine manufacturing companies from outside the country, so that issues like licensing, intellectual property, and all that, technology transfer would all be sorted out before we roll out our plans to manufacture our own vaccines. They also have a mandate of building up our human resource capacity to be able to produce the vaccines as time goes on. So this is a meeting to explain to stakeholders the roadmap to attaining this goal that has been set up by the President to ensure that we attain self-sufficiency in our vaccine stock.
Okay. We know this was done in partnership with some international partners as well as the local partners. Have these partners been identified?
Well, they have been identified. You know, this is, according to the committee, it's not going to be government-driven. It's going to be private sector-led. So the domestic consortium is made up of 3 pharmaceutical giants in the country. We have Dan Adams, we have NS Chemist, and we also have Kena Pharma. They have formed the local consortium. Their role is to also identify other partners. So there are international partners who have also formed the consortium to partner our local...
like a joint venture kind of?
Yes, yes. You know, and these private sector companies who have formed the consortium are also to source their own funds. Government is only there to provide the enabling environment and also to provide them with some guarantee scheme to enable them to acquire some funding, equipment, and even to establish the plant. You know, I'm told the local consortium has already made some deposits already to import a plant into the country so that we can start. So I mean, the 10-year roadmap is been divided into 3 targets to be achieved in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, and in the next 10 years. So we are looking up to establishing our first vaccine manufacturing plant in the next 2 years, and then subsequently maybe 3, and then by the 10-year period we should have probably attained 5. We should have probably have 5 manufacturing plants in Ghana. And you realize that as this is going on, concurrently there's also a domestic effort to develop our own vaccines.
And that's my very question, that are we going to focus on COVID-19 alone, or other vaccines will as well be produced locally?
Well, I mean, vaccines have the same processes or procedure in terms of the pharmacovigilance or the regulatory requirements and all that. So we are not just producing COVID-19 vaccines. The aim is to position ourselves or make ourselves ready for other pandemics, so that when the time comes, we can easily elicit what we have to produce other vaccines.
So basically we're being proactive.
Yes, exactly.
So
I mean, that's the aim of the agenda.
So very finally, what stood out for you as somebody who has been reporting health for all these years from this virtual meeting?
You know, it is the wish of every country to overcome or surmount this COVID-19 virus. So, and what the scientists had come up with was vaccines. And apart from the protocols, safety protocols, what the scientists had come up with was the administration of vaccines. But you would recall that our drive has been fraught with challenges. There was a period where, due to global politics, there was vaccine dry-up. We didn't have vaccines. Even when you had the money, you couldn't acquire, procure vaccines. You know, so what the conclusion was to attain self-sufficiency, be able to produce your own vaccines and use, and even to export. So what stood out for me was that is the long-term objective of this committee, and we are also going to establish a national vaccine institute and that's supposed to be by the end of the year, to coordinate all these activities, all the processes in getting our drive successfully met.
In terms of job creation, also in technology transfer, I see some potential and prospects for us as a country.
Exactly, exactly. You know, apart from the fact that locally we've even started some clinical trials of the vaccine of vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines. The consortium is supposed to partner with those who manufacture the vaccines abroad. I mean, those pharmaceutical giants abroad who have already even produced the vaccines that we are administering now. So they are going to probably they are going to have an agreement as to how they can transfer their technology. They are going to trash out the issues of intellectual property, training, research, development, and even, you know, our FDA. What even makes it exciting for Ghana across Africa, because our FDA has been certified by the WHO as having acquired or having attained level 3 maturity. We are just a step away from attaining the highest level, which is level 4 maturity. We've had some aspects of our processes, FDA processes, already approved and certified to maturity level 4 already. So we are just a step away to attaining that. And when this vaccine manufacturing drive finally rolls and comes on board, the FDA will also be strengthened, and I'm sure it will be the most powerful regulatory institution even in Africa.
Certainly, the COVID-19 has not only presented us with challenges, but opportunities
to grow. So, yes.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I will be waiting the full report at 7. In some of the days of the stories, this year's World Maritime Day highlighted the role of seafarers globally. In Accra, the Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Mr. Thomas Alonsi, said the country is working towards amending Section 481, Act 645 of the Ghana Maritime Law to protect the work and life of seafarers, also known as seamen.
In line with the recommendations of the United Nations and the International Maritime Organization, Ghana has designated seafarers as essential workers and is therefore taking steps to ensure that as government works hard to provide every Ghanaian with life-saving COVID vaccine, seafarers are given a priority treatment. This is the least we can do for our Ghanaian seafarers, on whose shoulders the shipping industry, as it is now, and its future prospects rest. As you may know by now, the hitherto peaceful Gulf of Guinea has gained notoriety for piracy attacks, thereby threatening the livelihoods of our people and the lives of our seafarers. The authority, under the instructions of the President, has engaged with security chiefs, both home and in the sub-region, to implement a harmonized standard operating procedure that should make our waters safe for men and women at sea. This has led to at least a reduction in the rate of attacks this year. The Ghana Maritime Authority is leaving no category of seafarers out. For apprentices and cadets, the authority is aware of the exploitation some suffer at the hands of manning agents. One of the ways the authority is working to tackle this is to help these junior officers get full protection under the Maritime Labor Convention, including the right to be repatriated. This is why the Ghana Maritime Authority is taking steps to amend Section 481 of Act 645 so that Ghana's maritime laws fully adapt and incorporate the necessary international labor conventions.
Now, today, Thursday, September 30, 2021, is the deadline given for occupants of the Buduburam refugee camp to quit. The camp in the Gomoa 8th district of the Central Region was decommissioned in 2010, and the United Nations Human Rights Commissioner for Refugees gave repatriation and reintegration packages to refugees. However, some of the refugees from Liberia, Sierra Leone, and other West African nations have remained at the camp since the decommissioning. Majority of the people living there are now Ghanaians, numbering about 19,000. My colleague, Clara Milano, has been at the camp since morning, monitoring to see whether the refugees are complying with the directive, and joins me on the phone with more from Buduburam. Clara, if you can hear me, are the refugees complying with the directive to vacate the place?
It's been a day of agitation, anxiety, confusion and uncertainty, just because authorities have said that today is the deadline for the evacuation or vacation of residents living here at the camp to make way for the demolition exercise. But I must say that very few people have left the camp so far. We still have a lot of people within the camp simply because they say they have nowhere to go, most of them being Liberians. But I must say that the Ghanaians are making an effort to move away from the camp.
Authorities going to enforce this directive? Is a government position for them to leave?
If you would allow me, I have some few residents here with me to speak to on why they are still living within the camp despite authorities' order for them to move away from the camp to make way for redevelopment. Here with me is Mr. George, one of the leaders of the Liberians living within the camp at the Liberian Buduburam camp. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Why are you still here despite being given the order that you should move away?
We don't have nowhere to go as of now. We don't have nowhere to go. As of now, as we stand, we have people here who came here in 1990. We're there for 31 years. You cannot evacuate us in less than 2 months. Even if somebody is renting your home, you get them 3 months. We don't have anywhere to go.
But the place was decommissioned in 2012. At the time of decommissioning, there were 2 packages. Either you relocate, that was reintegration, or you go back to Liberia. That was the repatriation exercise. What did you opt for and why are you still here?
Yeah, in 2012, June 30th, they came to us with two options, and I chose local integration because it was been campaigning very well. We saw the authority of the camp, that is the manager and people from Ghana Refugee Board. They told us that that was the right package. Some of us chose that package because we felt that we would go to school, and they said they were going to relocate us from the camp. But to our surprise, they gave us 800 cedis. And 800 cedis by then was $200. They cannot rent.
Yes, I'm now coming to that. That was part of the reintegration package that was given to you. You received a package of $200 yes, to allow you to move away from the camp, look for an accommodation, and give the place back to the chiefs. Why did you take a package and still decided to stay on the camp?
I want to say it is false and lacking sufficient evidence. The package were not given to us, and as it's been told to you guys. We received the forms in 2014 December. Then on 6 June 2015, they brought another on the UN board telling us that the money that you received was to be used to relocate. But in the initial stage, we were not be told that the money is for relocation. We were being told that we were going to be relocated to Fete. because the UNHCR have a project, and UN operate on a regional basis. If Liberia can integrate Sierra Leone and Ivorian refugees, why is Ghana refusing to do that? Ghana is a middle-income country that have income more than Liberia. So if Liberia as a poor country can integrate Sierra Leone and Ivorian refugees, why is Ghana doing that to us? As I speak to you now, I speak with a heavy heart. The Ghanaians have not been fair to us. The Ghanaian government have not been fair to us all.
This exercise is not by the Ghanaian government. It's by the chiefs of the land. They are taking back their land. The land was given for a specific reason. That is for the asylum seekers, the Liberians who were coming into the country at the time. But now the camp is no longer in existence. It's no longer a refugee camp. That was communicated to you. So I want to make that clear that it is not by the Ghanaian government. It's by the chiefs and traditional authorities of this place that are taking back the land that belongs to them. What next step are you taking to relocate from this place?
The camp was given to us. If you read the refugee law, Section 13 of the Ghana refugee law state that only the Minister of Interior can allocate land for refugee purposes. So we now here through chiefs. If you also read the PNDC law, that was 305 Section D, it also state that how the refugee board was being established as an autonomous agency. We came here through ward. We not came here by ourselves. And we not came here through any chief. And we are being here under the offices of the Ghana government. And the UN refugee board is formed part of the Interior Ministry. So I want you to go carefully and read the PNDC law 305 Section D, and you will learn how the refugee board being established in 1992, and also read Section 13 of the Ghana refugee law. You will learn that the Minister of Interior then, may his soul rest in peace, President Jerry who brought us here. We believe if President Reda was in power with our life, this would not happen to us. Or even President Mills, because it was in President Mills' time in 2010 when they wrote the document I have here with me now. We were told that we will be taken to Goma Fete. There was 700 acres of land that have been allocated for us there. You see, the chiefs and DCE by then, when they saw that the package for UNHCR was good, they chose that we should stay here. There is a district called in the Western region, they call it Elembele district. The chief there was waiting to take us. They gave us 3 times that we were going to be in. But those people in Goma district saw the package being very lucrative. They said we should remain here. And they have built a police station, a fire service station, 3 primary schools, and a secondary school at Goma Fete. Those schools were built for us. They said where we'll be residing, those will be built there for us. Today, the Goma East District and the chiefs are enjoying such benefit from us, and they want to serve us. Relocated.
What are you going to do now?
We don't have anything to do. We are refugees who fled our country. Like me, I came here with a Black Star gunboat ship in 92 during the Liberian Civil War. I came with my grandmother. She's dead. I don't have nobody in Ghana. I don't have nobody. I don't even remember people in Liberia.
We were told that the Ministry of Interior was distributing passports to people who applied for resident permits. Have you received such passports?
No, I haven't received my passport yet. I'm not even alone. We are many. And we are in a convoy era. Your borders are closed. Then I don't have my passport. So if the camp is bothered, where do we go? I don't have any documents. And we've been told by MT and other people that they will be starting to register cards from October 1st to March. So cannot try any business in Ghana.
Thank you so much. I also have a Ghanaian living on the camp here with me. Mama, Pacho, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pacho, in fear,
oh, me waha since 2010.
Into unya inti, yes, I hase no ye bebubu ama a kwanya ba ma ya ye half a fefa na. Ade na wubusu hase.
The problem is enye say ye da so ha e wa so odin na nipa de wa ha, but it's out of situation. And I was saying who say it's not only Liberians are living on the camp. This thing is not going to affect only Liberians or refugees or whatsoever they call it.
But are you aware the camp was created purposely for Liberians and not other nationals?
But this is Buduburam camp. And maybe you can show a place that shows that has say no Ghana for Liberia for land. But you know we have all come together as one people and we are here. My sister, the problem is if they allow this thing to go on, it's not going to affect only the foreigners. It's affecting our own people. Our children are in school. We have to relocate. What? In about 2 months, no one will be paper. And I say permission say mamunt na hanum say biom munfi hanum say in 2 months, less than 3 months. For 2012 asem no to nchen. 2012 asem no dey fan to nchen. They aban no ebe.
Yen to be fan to nchen because that is the basis for this demolition. Eba basi from Ochinako.
Obi an can say ma omo enye de omo person omo yen they can demolish whatever they want to do. But the thing is omo nya aware say ade we na omo yen ebe affect Ghana for be brave. And Ghana for we have brothers and sisters in Liberia too, because we came together as one people. Some of us have gotten married to some Liberians and we are now one. Now you see you see a family going, you see that the father is a Liberian, the mother is a Ghanaian. What to mean chair first say and you say you worry Liberia for and I say you say you worry Ghana Liberia for no worry Ghana for. They say na nipa baako obi an stop on say ma embubu the omo person omo ye no, but they just have to extend the time. They have to give time. So who to tenant different from demolishing a whole town. What I say this thing as somebody see what honey there too bad. Say obi an baby a okwa there too much.
Okay, so Abdul, you just heard from some of the residents living within the camp here. I must say that some are pleading for more time and extension to make way for them to relocate to other places, to find an alternative to move to other places to live. But we have others who are adamant. They are saying they don't know what to move out of the camps because they have nowhere to go. This is where they call home. So the history behind this camp was that this place was created in 1990 to house Liberian refugees who were fleeing the war in Liberia to live here. The first repatriation was in 1997, and in 2013 the place was decommissioned, making way for repatriation and reintegration as the package at the time. But some decided to stay on. Today is the deadline for the vacation of residents living the Buduburam camp to make way for the demolition exercise, which will commence from tomorrow. Abdul, back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Clara, for bringing us up to speed on the development in there. We'll be waiting to see the further directives from the side of the authority as to how they will enforce this whole thing to get the people to evacuate, how they're going to address this issue. Now to some of the data. Resident of Gozesi and Kpalor electoral area in the Bawku municipality of the East region are appealing to the government through the Bawku Municipal Assembly and the MP for the area to urgently fix the 2 bridges connecting them to the Bawku Township and Garu.
With a population of over 3,000, residents of Gozesi electoral area in the Bawku municipality are predominantly farmers. Construction work on the 2 bridges that connect Zabzugu, Kuka, Hasikri and Kolping in the electoral area to Bawku Township and Garu started over a decade ago but has stalled. Residents here are usually cut off from their neighboring communities during the rainy season. According to residents of the area, they have been voting for the NDC over the years, but all efforts made to get the MP for Bawku Central, Mahama Yarga, to fix the bridges have not been successful. They said the MP brought the contractor on site during the 2020 elections, but the contractor left site after the elections. Residents in the area then mobilized some funds and constructed a footpath on the uncompleted construction of the bridge for residents to have access to healthcare, education, and the market in Bawku. One resident of Gozesi, Mr. Akuka Mohammed Zakari, told GBC News that the deplorable road network in the area is affecting healthcare delivery, education, and their economic activities.
When it's rainy season like this, the people of Zabugu, Gonzense, Asikiri, they are always cut off. They are forced to use Garu, Bawku main route, and it's very far. So we are appealing to the authorities. Our cry has been almost all the year we are trying, but the officials are not listening to us. We wish if the authorities will come to the aid of people of Zabugu, we'll be very glad. Else, the teachers, the nurses who are working at the rural areas, normally rainy season, July, August, September, they always find it difficult to go to work.
Another resident, Mr. Yahya Dawuda, said many people have lost their lives here attempting to cross the river during the rainy season.
People even lost their lives here during the rain season because if it is midnight and they are passing there, if it rains, water will fill the bridge and people cannot pass. So we are pleading the government to come and construct for us.
Almost all the culverts and bridges that were washed away by the floods caused by torrential rains over a decade ago in the Bawku municipality are still in the same state.
Now to the Asante region, where the regional police command has arrested some persons suspected to be connected to the murder of a 33-year-old woman, Akosia Nyantechiwa, who was found dead at Chirimfaso near Asante a few days ago. According to the police, one of the suspects is the brother of the woman who assisted the mother of the deceased to search for her daughter. My colleague from the region, Nicholas Oseusu, has been monitoring the situation and joins us with the very latest on this development. Nicholas, thank you so much for your time. First of all, give me a sense of feelings in the family following the news of the arrest of this suspect.
Good afternoon, Sani. As indicated, I'm currently at Asante. Before now, I had been at Bisiansi, two communities, twin communities within the municipality, and they are very close to the municipal capital of Asante. I visited the family house at Bisiansi and interacted with the mother of the deceased, Madame Frimpoma, to learn a bit about what happened. And she has put a side of the story. As we speak, the police are holding 4 persons in their custody. They have been remanded into police custody by a circuit court here at Asante. You know, procedurally, the case has been sent to a district court, what people call district court, for commencement of the committal proceedings. But because the district court, they are not in session now, they have to seek a temporary leave from the circuit court to remand the suspects. So 4 of them are in custody. And the mother of the lady in question, who is the 63-year-old, is also on police inquiry bail. The condition is that she has to report to the police every day. And yes, so that is the situation. Then the brother, the elder brother of Akosia Nyantechiwa, in fact, he is the one directly after whom Akosia Nyantechiwa comes in terms of the hierarchy of the siblings. So that is it. He is currently in police custody. Then a fetish priest is also in police custody. The linguist to the fetish priest is also in police custody. And then one Malam, Yakubu, he is also in police custody, and they are assisting the police at Asante to investigate all the circumstances surrounding this particular suspected murder case. As has been told just a while ago by the municipal police commander, Chief Superintendent Seven Bodi, what the reason for arresting the mother of the deceased has got to do with the fact that when the incident happened, that's about between 11 and 12, 11 p.m. and 12 midnight on that fateful day, last week, about a week ago, the mother happened to have an information about the death of the deceased, but they waited until about 5:30 a.m. before reporting to the police, and they did not indicate when they found the body of the deceased. And according to the police, the information given by the mother have not been that consistent. So that is what has also led to that has led her being a suspect in this particular case.
Okay.
But for the brother of the deceased, according to Chief Superintendent Seven Bodi, he has a link with the fetish priest. And the day before, the night when they were looking for the deceased, the fetish priest and the Malam, they performed certain rituals. In fact, the fetish priests have been brought into the family house by the brother of the deceased, and that he was in the process of conjuring money, ritual money for the brother.
Okay.
And so they performed certain rituals, and that is what they claim led them to where the deceased was lying. So that is what has led to the arrest of these four people.
Nicholas, very finally, how rampant is these kind of incidents in the area where you're reporting from?
In fact, I spoke to, before I even got to, I spoke to the Odigro or a resident of the Timpaso Township. He was not available, so I had to speak to him on phone. And he indicated that this is the first time in his history, of the town, that anything like this has befallen the community, and they are taking it very serious, that they have to do all within his power as a traditional leader to perform certain rituals to appease or pacify the spray on the gods of the land.
Okay.
So that is the situation.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on the developments in the area. Nicholas Osayusu is our Asante regional correspondent. Back in Accra, the Ghana Education Service will soon introduce smart schools in most parts of the country as part of efforts to revamp technical vocational education and training. Students will have access to technology-based teaching learning to improve learning outcomes and future workforce development. Oforiwa Dako has more in the following report.
The National Education Week annually engages partners in the sector to review activities and collectively strategize towards the attainment of targets in the years ahead. The meeting brought together policymakers, researchers, and practitioners to share ideas on innovative approaches to improving access to STEM education and the use of digital technology in learning. They also discussed ways to build resilience in the education system.
How do we survive? How do we compete? We Africans desperately need a strategy for developing our own independent, community-controlled educational. There's also transformation. Also implies that our current state needs drastic change.
The Minister for Education, Dr. Yosedu Chum, said the sector is identifying talented individuals who can help build a robust educational system in the country.
Together, this generation of Ghanaians will rise together and do something that has never happened before. That our WASSCE scores will not be 30% but 70%. That will not be have only 12% of our students doing general science, but it can be 50%. That together we can build an education system robust enough to stand any challenges.
The theme for the 2021 National Education Week focuses on reimagining education for national transformation. For GBC News, Oforiwa Dako reporting.
Let's go to the northern region where 62 members of the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly were at the conference hall of the Assembly to confirm the president's nominee for the position of Metropolitan Chief Executive. With the recent unrest between residents, the police and the VRE NECO, the Metro Chief Executive faces a daunting task to ensure discipline and give the metropolis a new image. Correspondent Murtala Isa joins us on the line with more details from the confirmation exercise. Murtala, if you can hear me, has the president nominee been confirmed?
So the Metro Assembly is currently in the process of voting to elect him. The 62-member Assembly are currently in a long queue, taking their time to vote one after the other to see what happens, whether he's confirmed or not.
Murtala, you've been studying developments as far as the confirmation is concerned and how the news of his nomination was received in Tamale. What are his chances?
So from what we gathered from the ground, he stands a very good chance of being confirmed. And actually, Charlie Fu, that is his name, is a grassroots person, well known within the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party in this region. And of course, he has that appeal across the political divide. He has also worked across positions within the region, including position of regional secretary of the party, and is currently the National Youth Employment Coordinator just before his nomination by the president to be the mayor.
Mutala, the nominee seems to have a daunting task ahead of him, looking at what happened in the last few weeks as far as the agitation is concerned. How do you foresee him and his team resolving this matter?
Tamale is always a challenging place to lead as a mayor or chief executive officer. And Sule Salifu is not going to be an exception if he's given the nod. Remember, his predecessor, Mr. Superior, faced that daunting task at the point he gave up. But currently, there are issues, there are challenges that have even compounded the situation. You mentioned the recent agitation or clashes between NESCO police and some residents. And that is a major issue confronting him now because as we are speaking, yesterday we reported that there was suspension of operations. But today, it made kind of official with the various unions within the BRA network issuing out statements saying that we are not going. I just spoke with the corporate affairs, one of the corporate affairs managers of the company, Mr. Ababa, and he indicated that they have received calls from various communities to come there and address their electricity challenges, but they are not able to go because they feel threatened. In the last 24 hours, we have received various audio recordings threatening staff of the VRA as well as the Ghana police threat to live within the community. Some people are threatening that they will deal with them. So they are also on high alert in terms of security. That this is the challenge that faces the mayor if he is elected. This is the immediate task facing him.
Mutala, if the nominee gets confirmed, I know he will be rolling out some of the very things and policies that he wants to introduce in line with the government agenda to bring development to Tamale. We'll be coming back to you at 7 for more on that.
Thank you very much, Abdurrahman.
That's my colleague, our Northern Region correspondent, Mutala Isa, bringing us up to speed on the confirmation exercise, which is currently ongoing in the Tamale metropolis. Let's go for a break. We'll return with the very latest from the world of business.
An offer on GTV breakfast. So what's your pleasure? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered. From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. With a trusted team. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
Young professionals and
Hello, let's talk business with me, Esther Edu Ohumewu. In our first story, the need for a research center to reduce the country's imports of building materials has been emphasized at a forum in Accra. The Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, said there is space for the authority to partner industry in the testing process to have the right standards for the construction market. The $8 billion Ghanaian construction sector, which accounted for 18.8% of the nation's GDP in 2018, is a central pillar of Ghana's National Development Plan. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the construction industry recorded a growth rate of 18.3% year-on-year for the third quarter of 2018. Despite the contribution of the sector to the growth of the economy, it is a sector that adds to the import bill of Ghana, with most of the raw materials being imported. The construction forum was to ensure that the building materials in Ghana meet the standards of the international market. At the construction forum, the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, said the testing of concrete products will prevent the incidence of buildings collapsing.
The Standards Authority realized that if we are not testing concrete products, because people buy cement, but that is to produce concrete, so that when the concrete is cast, you have strong buildings. So we said, well, yes, we have cement machines, we bought new ones, but let's test concrete after it has been cast, so that industry players will have a place to go to for rapid testing. Yes, it's good for us as IGF, but I think the important thing now is that no builder can say that there is no infrastructure for testing the products they have.
The Ghana Standards Authority in 2019 launched the building code, but it is yet to get legislative backing to make it mandatory for all buildings to go through the processes to ensure that they are fit for use and habitation. Meanwhile, the governing board of the Ghana Standards Authority has been inaugurated by the Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Alan Shermatin, in Accra. The minister lauded the previous board for their contribution in ensuring the publication of the country's first building code and his role in developing the national automobile standards.
The GSA has done an excellent job over the years. But if there was ever a time that the mandate of this institution is going to be paramount in driving the prosperity of our country, that time is now. And that is why I believe that as a board, your role in providing strategic direction for this institution to be able to play the role that I've just outlined is very important.
The board members are Professor Felix Charles Mills Robertson, Professor Alex Dodu, Dr. Opokuwari Ampuma, Dr. Alex Ampofo-Donko, Mr. Idris Abdullahi, and Mr. Mark A. Taylor. The board chairman, Professor Felix Charles Mills Robertson, pledged the team's commitment in ensuring that goods and services meet the required standards for the local and international markets. Ghana's interim trade partnership agreement with the United Kingdom is set to commence on 1st October 2021. The trade pact seeks to reaffirm the deep interest of both Ghana and the UK to strengthen their long-standing trade and economic relationship through tariff-free trade transactions in both markets. The trade agreement is expected to support businesses to increase their processes, encourage innovation in the market, and create jobs as the country recovers from the ravaging effects of the coronavirus pandemic. Ghanaian products including bananas, canned tuna, and cocoa will benefit from tariff-free access to the United Kingdom once the agreement takes effect. The International Labour Organization is to roll out its flagship Sustaining Competitive and Responsible Enterprises program across all 16 regions of the country. The UN agency is therefore canvassing the support of corporates and multinational agencies to extend the program, which is currently operational in the Greater Accra and Western regions.
Sustaining Competitive and Responsible Enterprises is an ILO global program that combines both classroom and in-factory practical training to improve productivity among SMEs. The focus of the program is to cut waste, ensure cleaner and leaner production whilst increasing revenue. After a decade of implementing the SME Enhancement Scheme in Ghana, the Management Development and Productivity Institute, MDPI, now assumes implementation of the program. Funding has become crucial as two key donor partners, the Swiss and Norwegian governments, round up funding. The SCORE team is therefore pitching SCORE to some selected corporate entities in a bid to solicit financial support to ensure sustainability.
We are in the Western and Greater Accra region, and we are, to some extent, not reaching out to a number of the enterprises that need these services. So in the next phase, and with the right amount of support, we want to extend our services countrywide. Asante region is one of the most industrialized centers in Ghana. And to some extent, the Brown Ahafo region is there. And even in the northern part of the country, we have a number of SMEs that are fledgling, that have potentials to apply for and also get the benefits of it. So in the next phase, we are looking at expanding nationwide. And that is the reason why we are going all out to get other sponsors to buy into this project.
Meanwhile, the latest phase of the SCORE program, executed by the MDPI, is underway with heightened interest from SMEs. Over 80 enterprises are receiving the training sponsored by the German government for free.
So many enterprises that are waiting to be part of this training. They really need it. What the awareness that we are creating is that employers must be able to enhance their employees' training so that they can do a better job, and through that the productivity will be increased.
Let's have the interbank and commodity figures for the day. And that was business. Thanks for watching.